short-range engage style of the rest of the champions. But then again, you do have decent disengage too. I am a bit worried about Victor, Xayah fighting together, because Xayah very short-range, very playmaking and kiting focused champion, and Victor is more of a long-range, like, control choke champion. So, I mean, Xayah does have decent choke control too, and you actually have really good zoning here on Gragas, Xayah, Victor. So if they can finally enter river first, they can really force the enemy team away, and the enemy team is very short range too, apart from Jane on the Talia. So this game could really come down to who gets priority over river, but unfortunately, from what we've seen in the first game, that is not something I would trust MBE with. So it's a little confusing to me to see MBE play compositions that don't really make sense with the weaknesses they've shown. Because as someone who has seen every single MBE game this split, I think, or at least almost all of them, I would just say, be more cynical with your compositions. You have to realize that you're not on the same level in terms of macro and objective setup as the other teams, right? You have to be aware of that. At a 0-13 team in terms of game score, like, you need to know that this is your problem. So just play super simple composition. The old LEC thing was to say, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And I don't really understand why they're not trying to do this. They kind of had this setup in the last game. Just play Jinx again. Jinx was there. Jinx did fine into Aphelios last game, so just play the Jinx and pray for late game team fights. Yeah, this is something I really hate to see when bad teams try to play meta compositions that they just can't play. But who knows? Maybe they actually can play them. We're gonna see what happens in this game. But just look at the items. Put in starting Cull into Xayah Rakan. So very low HP total into a very aggressive lane, very strong pushing lane on Aphelios. That already tells you that he does not respect the enemy team that much. He's just saying, I can scale for free here. I don't care. Not a good look for Slows and Zodiac. Hopefully they can actually punish him for this slightly overconfident buy, maybe. Because you can see Puddin is very low on HP. Not current HP, I just mean total HP. And Tom Rio looking for the first move. I like this. But he gets spotted. And Fook1 fully aware of this. I think Tom Rio actually saw the Gromp disappear mark there. So he should also know that Fook1 just finished the Gromp. And there were some pings on the map. So, full information for both junglers. Fook is just disengaging here. Fook full clearing 4 camps. As we have another little engage from Zodiac and Slows. And they are playing these 2v2 engages quite well. It used to be a counter matchup for the side of Nautilus into Rakan. I don't think it really is anymore. I don't think Rakan really has big counters in terms of engaged champions. It's more countered by Enchanters. Nice reaction from Sora. That should be a kill. Really nicely done, Sora. Good one. That was really nice mechanical showing from the Sora. We don't really expect to see Sora, formerly known as Artie, as one of those mechanical pop of Taki style supports, but that was really nicely done. Good awareness of what he had to do to counter that dive, and that is a horrible first sign for Zodiac 2. Because Xayah Rakan is dominating this lane. Now they gave over free 200 gold to the enemy ADC. They invested so much time to set up this dive for their jungler too. Tom Rio spent all the time to control bot side, and then it goes wrong. Watching MBE is suffering. Let's see if they can somehow find a way to get back in the spot lane matchup. Because now Puddin is actually level 4 and has the good guns for laning phase, so you can actually push back into Xayah with the blue gun, being able to clear waves quite easily. He's ahead in CS on a Cull start, and is going to be accelerated in his item build. Ugh. Oh, I am. I'm sorry, my Discord people. I wasn't actually paying too much attention. Was just focusing on OBS and Discord. Just a quick little interruption there. Sorry, nothing really happened, so I don't think you missed much. Looking at top lane, Yoshino is once again dominating Sunmer, which is not surprising because Yoshino is a much better laner than Sunmer, but it is not a great sign. R5 Necton just stomping his lane. I guess that's what he's here for. Let's see if he can double kill. He gets... he's pretty low, but he deals a lot of damage. Conqueror stacked. Oh, he forces the flash for Tomryu. I feel so bad for Tomryu. He's trying, but his lanes are just not setting him up for success. It's so sad. I do not want to be the jungler for MBE. I really do not want to be the jungler for MBE. Ay. I think we do have I will be joined by one of our long-standing VCS fans, who's also doing a lot of the prediction game and stuff. It's Beast. Yo, wait, you're not audible on the stream yet. I need to make you unmute desktop audio. There we go. Hello, welcome.
Hello. I'm here as cover, and it's already going off. It's a really interesting series today, because MVE don't have a win, but if there's one team that maybe they could get it against, Team Flash are the other newly promoted team, so it's possible.
Yeah.
But looking at this early game, it's looking like
sure
another
if it's possible.
2-0. It's another 2-0.
Yeah, it looks like another 2-0. So, you are the stat person. Do you know off the top of your head, what's the longest losing streak in a Tier 1 league ever in terms of games?
I think it's the LJL V3 losing streak. They subbed in their academy roster, and then they basically lost every game. So, I think it was definitely more than one split for that team.
More than one split.
Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad.
Holy.
They effectively had an academy team that was beating some LDL teams. And you'll remember V3 from LGL because they did go to Worlds one year over DFM. And they got this academy team in, and it wasn't it. They went 0-21 in 22 spring. So yeah, I think we're still a bit off the longest lose streak ever.
Okay, we have something to cheer for the rest of the split then.
Looking at this series, it's quite likely.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately feeling the same. Yeah. I think we need someone to really run it down for MBE to win a game, because it's just. Like, what can you even say? It's just that they're not on the same level. Like, it's unfair to the players to flame them, but they're just not. Like, it's not even the players. I mean, the players are also the worst players in the league. Now, don't get me wrong. They're also outclassed individually. But the worst thing is, even when they get ahead, even when they're even in game, they just lose every game because their understanding of team fighting and their understanding of setups around objectives is so unbelievably bad in comparison to all the other teams. Like, they're not even the same league. You can see the differences there. It's like playing... I don't know, it's probably like playing a plat player in a Masters game or something, where somehow they made it out of laning phase alright, but then they go to the objectives and just in their face off because they don't understand the league. It's so sad to see.
Yeah. The analogy I can think of is, this is what would happen if you time traveled QTV from 2019 to now. Zodiac was also on that team.
Oh god.
That team also got relegated. They went 4-10. And that was a team with Nevan, with the infamous Quinn clip, and Genza Jisoo, who have now gone to Wild Rift.
Wasn't it Seal
and
as well?
Zodiac. Yeah, and Seal. And Zodiac as support. And that team went 4-10 then. And I think this team is about the same level as that team. Like,
yeah, I mean, 2019 was a dark age for VCS. Yeah. If you think about it, the league was so bad.
Yes, most of the players have either retired or gone to Wild Rift from 2019. Never infamously retired. That's what that QG team with Zodiac also had Hero.
I mean, Hero had a big glow up. Like, Hero was the star of the show back then as well, but he is now a much better player. I think he got... Wasn't he a 2-trick on, like, Vladimir and... What's this other champion?
No, it was a 1-trick on Vladimir. Yeah. I think he got it in one.
Right. He could only play Vladimir. Oh, no, they didn't even get the chart. MBE, don't do this to me.
It's appearing slightly...
So, I'm not sure if you listen to me talking about the draft here, but do you see any sense in pairing or in going Renekton R5 into Zarya, Rakan, Gragas composition? Doesn't this sound absolutely horrible to play?
So here's the thing. Yoshino already knows that this game is won, and he wants to pad his laning stats. So he picked the earliest lane champion in the game, and maybe actually win a fight.
Oh, it's a triple for Slows, potentially.
The blast cone, but he's in no man's land now, so he's probably dying to Tomrio. Yeah, he is.
Spider Nord. Spider Nord. Come on, Slow, Sora. No.
Not really much hope.
Wiggling back and forth against the champion with AoE abilities is not... Oh, no. How did Slows...
He spent that long trying to give it away, and then...
Slows just died to put in. Why? How? No. Slows.
Will we get a replay?
Maybe.
Okay, so starts really well. Burst Zodiac, but then the 3v3 and they've used everything to burst the Rakan. Yeah, so then we come into the second part of the fight and it's a huge pull of Zarya feathers. And then Slows can just run down.
I want to see what happened here.
So how did Slows now?
So what did Slows... Wait, Nugu and Slows are here. How does... I actually don't want to see it. This is gonna disappoint me.
Doesn't have ult, so okay. That's a lot of damage.
Nice. Just put in playing well. Just put in channeling his inner Artemis. Nice. Good to see.
And Yoshino comes down to get drag.
So, do we have any mid laners that could step in for Team Flash? Because I think mid lane is the big issue for them to compete for players. I like their top lane. I don't mind Fook. I think actually Fook has had a decent split. I really like Puddin. I'm fine with Sora, but their mid laners are not great.
This is always the issue with VCS.
Yeah, true.
Even when it's like Froggy at MSI getting gapped a bit in lane as his bot and top are doing really well.
His top was
even all the way back to Optimus missing 3 shockwaves in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it is by far the weakest position of VCS. Like, not even close. VCS mid is really bad. We don't have a single player that is world-class in mid lane. While we have multiple world-class players in both top and ADC, I'd say, and jungle definitely too. So, yeah, mid lane is really rough over here.
I mean, both teams here, that MBE have Emo and Nugu, who both haven't looked brilliant, and then Jane is fine.
Nah. Today he has looked really in. I mean, both of these games so far have been yikes.
Yeah, we're at a point now where fine is just not really good enough.
I mean, like, I do think he's
Jane doesn't make too many egregious mistakes, and this fight will come to nothing. It's just walk away.
Just Rakan, too slippery. But I mean, they get positioning on Herald anyway. So these games look so comfortable for Flash. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that they're gonna win, and I don't think there's any doubt in their minds either. It's so easy to just walk to objectives, and MBE is always second on objectives. There's not been a single objective in this whole series where MBE had better positioning. It's almost.
We do have
comical.
the game deciding coin flip coming up, I believe. So
hey, they got it, and they're gonna lose the fight anyway.
Did Zodiac just W onto the mines of Talir? I want to see that on a replay. I think he just face planted.
Yeah, I think so too.
But they do have
They
priority
did get
mid
the
with
Herald.
tower.
They will get the mid tower, hopefully. So, yeah, an objective for MBE. Nice. Will they get the mid tower? Yay!
They will get mid tower. That is one objective. Congratulations, you.
Indeed.
And actually, flank coming in. Will he go for it? No. He regains his mentality.
Yeah, look at Puddin.
They
Puddin has
stay.
had enough. Puddin has had enough. He just went top to farm. Relatable. Relatable.
Very. So there is some hope here. If they one-shot Pudding, that is where a lot of the gold is now. If you actually look at the rest of the team, it's pretty close. It's just the massive ADC gap that's the gold difference right now.
I mean, it's true, yeah. The problem is, how do you want to put in with this composition? Like, you have to get Rio to find him, because, yeah, and Zodiac, I guess. But Zodiac has such a hard game to play into Talia and Sora. If Sora and Talia just peel for Puddin, Zodiac can never land anything on him.
There's Summoner as well. One Summoner barrel could be a dead Aphelios.
No, Summoner is not a player in my eyes.
I see.
I don't really consider Summoner as someone who could do anything unless I see it, because, well, he hasn't shown it to me yet. So.
Right.
Unfortunately, we don't get to see the replay. We don't get to study Zodiac's movement. I would be interested to see what he did there.
No, I'm fairly certain he just W'd on top of the Talia without thinking.
It actually happens so much in pro play. I think pros still...
Oh, it really does.
Yeah, it is... Ever since the Talia rework, it has happened so many times where people just jump into Talia E and then get stunned and look really stupid because they don't remember.
Is completely
no, not this
fine.
Again. Not this
he
again.
Doesn't even have to flash.
Yeah, he is old still.
He is completely chilling. What can Flash get on the other side? Dragon number 3 is almost certain, but what else can they get?
They're trying to trade tower for tower? Yeah.
No, it's a nice trade. So, 1 for 1 on towers, and Flash will get a dragon as to get one free as well.
Honestly, I think Yoshino could have tried to 1v2 there. He was probably scared of more than 2 people coming, which is fair, because Zodiac was there, but... Honestly,
Zodiac
I don't think they have the damage against his ultimate, against all his sustain, his Gore Drinker. If he keeps Gore Drinker till pretty late and stays on the tower, I don't think those 3 champions can really kill Yoshino. I mean,
yeah, that would be an interesting limit test for sure.
I mean, it's the better play to go away, right? But honestly, I think he wins. He already won against them earlier in 1v2, and now he has better items too, and he has Conqueror and Ultons.
True. So. They didn't get the dragon for free, though. They might lose this mid tower. There's a TP in behind, actually, from Jane. And he does have ult to cut them off. This could be really huge if this... Oh, it was Yoshino's TP, not Jane's. I was wrong. Here comes Jane now.
Yeah, let's look at Renekton into this composition. It's really playable, by the way. Yep. He got perfect positioning for a flank, and he can really do a lot in this team fight, as you can see.
He hit a stun. He did his job. Win. That's the thing with Renekton, right? It's not that he's ever that good. It's the fact that the number of point-and-click CC options are so limited. Yeah. Like, okay, yeah, you've got Nautilus, but
look at this comp. In this comp, he's just dreadful. Yeah. And to play Renekton into Xayah Victor
just to press W so Jane can hit the flip. And as we talk about this, they get the mid-tier 1.
I mean, they still win the fight, because no one in MBE is actually doing anything. But both their carries were completely fine for the whole fight. If their carries were actually human beings, they could actually win this fight, I feel. But now, that's too harsh. That's too harsh. I apologize. But watching these players team fight is just frustrating. It's very frustrating. Look at this positioning. We have 2 full HP carries. Can we please hit something? Please? No? Still not? Okay.
That sounds like having a chance of winning.
Hello? Victor? Are you in the game? Are you connected to the server? Look at Victor in this fight. He's full HP the whole time and he doesn't do anything. Into divers. That's Victor's dream. Under tower into divers. What is he doing? Nothing, I know, but why? Ugh. What do we do with this team, Beast? What do we do with this team?
Well, I'm just considering that loss streak. Do we just consider VCS games, or can we consider that tier 2 star invitational with all the academy teams? Because they went 2-4 there. They lost 2-0 to a stream.
Yeah, but if you consider that, I think you have to consider all the tier 2 teams as well, and maybe a challenger team is an even longer loss streak.
True, that's possible. So there might be a pick here. Jane, okay, Jane, respect flashes. I actually like that. This game is so won if you just wait for Soul.
That's true.
So that Q probably did miss. He probably dodged it, but I really like the respect flash.
It's once again, it's the correct play to flash there. It wasn't necessary, but it's still the correct play. It looks a little silly because the Q missed, but you shouldn't play as if the Q was missing, because the better player would hit the Q and then you lose the game for no reason. So yeah, it's a correct play. I like it. Jane's playing more respectfully this game. I like him more here. The Rice game, we didn't talk about the Rice game. Did you see what he did there?
We don't talk about the Rice game.
So,
back to that mid lane point. The mid laners that I can think of off the top of my head that could be an improvement are all sort of stuck on benches. So obviously we have Garm, who picked up Play Cool, which arguable if it'd be an upgrade, but that's the first person who comes to mind, as this guy is at least VCS level, but he's on a bench behind people. Obviously VCS classic of role swapping people mid from top lane. We have such a deep top lane pool now that it wouldn't shock me. Honestly, unironically.
I mean, absolutely unironically. Why do I have to watch Sunma play when Marcus exists? I don't understand. Marcus was good. Marcus was actually smurfing. Where's Marcus?
It's a good point. Okay, so we'll have a whole 30 seconds now of pretending MBE have a chance to win.
MBE has good positioning on the river in this game. MBE, to be completely fair to them, they have looked much better in this game when it comes to objective setup. They punished mid lane twice. They are first on river this time for the first time ever in their lives against a VCS team. So this is impressive for MBE. They are looking much better. They might still lose the fight, but at least they were first to an objective for the first time ever. So that's good to see.
Yeah. MBE this game have hit the starting line. They actually got mid tower from Herald. They actually got to river first. Like, this is the starting line for pro teams, and they've actually got there now as the fight starts. MBE already down 1, but they actually can kite back pretty well here, and they used a lot to get that onto Sumner.
Yeah, the problem is Nubu would have to start playing the game for them to win. Let's see if he can do it. That's a good... kind of good. Yoshino, wow, that was such a good gore drink and nicely done. And now the game is unfortunately just over. But they still... I was very toxic earlier this game. That's not fair to them. They actually played a much better macro game this time around. They were there first on the objective, which is something I blamed them relentlessly for last game, where they lost every positioning on Dragon. This time they just got out team fought, which can happen. I mean, it's hand diff. It's also coordination diff with Yoshino, a 3-time champion, right? So you expect them to lose team fights, but at least they were first on the objective. That's such a good sign of life. Maybe they can actually improve. And Marby just told us in chat, 15-game losing streak last split from Genius in VCS. So they're one series, they're 2 games away from that one. So that's the first record they're chasing. So maybe with this performance they can avoid that negative record, because they are looking a little better.
There is some hope. The issue is for Box that this is one of the easier teams that they've got to play against. The next 3 series, it's the top 3 of the league. It's Wales, GAM, and CES. So the likelihood to break the loss record is quite high, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Though it is Wales, you never know with Killer Queen and Glory.
True, there is a coin. It has been flipped.
What was Slow's doing over there? Big bad crocodile just ate him alive. And his ult was like 2 or 3 seconds away. Really unfortunate. Good timing for Yoshino. I'm not sure if he timed the ultimate, but he just went for it. Why not? He's super strong.
Okay. This is... Actually, they're just not contesting. That is interesting. I think
there was no way for them.
Not really got a hope. So, again, we're seeing MBE making better decisions. Their decision making has gone from like the we're not playing macro level of we're not getting to river first ever, but they are actually doing things that it is now a skill issue, not an everything issue.
So it's interesting, right? Because last game it was a clear macro issue, while their team fighting was actually alright. Like, it wasn't great, but it was okay. In this game, the macro is looking much better, but this time the team fighting and the mechanics are bad. So it's a little bit of a catch-22 there. But I feel like I still like what I said in draft, and after game 1, I think as an MBE coach, I would be extremely cynical with my draft. I would just first pick Jinx, put a Sion or a Cho'Gath in the top lane, put some other tank or CC machine in the jungle. Mid lane doesn't matter because all mid laners in VCS are shit, so mid lane is whatever. And you just play late game team fights. Like, who cares? Just pray for the Jinx to actually pop off, and the Jinx look good for slows. I would like to see that. I think the Xayah is just the wrong approach here. I don't think you ever win team fights against the better teams with the Xayah. Just go ultra hyper carry. Next patch, go Vayne. Just pray for something to go wrong, and you have the champion that can actually win the game alone. Go Kale or something like that. Just some hyper carry that can just warp the game in your favor, where you shouldn't win a single game, but maybe that champion can make you win the game. Aurelion Sol comes to mind as well. I would like to see them just go to these champions where maybe something goes wrong, maybe they get a few early kills and somehow win.
The dive starts, that's a 4-man ult from Sora, and already the fight. Sora just hit a huge engage. Like, it's 13k gold diff, so just how good that engage was didn't matter. But that was one of the cleanest Nort engages you've seen. Like, 4-man got knocked up by the ult, and he hits another hook. That's another dead member of MBE.
Oh, the Victor damage. The Victor damage. Oh, Slows. Oh, Slows gets hit. Really nicely done for Puddin. Puddin with the awareness. What an execution there. Another kill. Puddin. I like this player so much. I love seeing good ADCs. All the good ADCs have good Aphelioses. I think Aphelios is like the modern standard champion for ADCs. You have to have a good Aphelios to be accepted as a good ADC, and Puddin is has certainly passed that test. Much more dominant performance from Team Flash in Game 2, but also better macro performance from the side of MBE.